Welcome to Aging Untold. When you're searching for senior care, the options can be overwhelming. Home care, assisted living, skilled nursing, they may sound similar, but they're not. Each one has different purposes and varying cost. Sam, what's the biggest misconception you encounter when families are looking for senior care options?
So there's a lot of misconceptions in senior care. I think the biggest is that Medicare pays for everything. I think the biggest misconception out there is that what you need the most is a covered benefit, and it's not. What you need the most oftentimes is home care, and that's the activities of daily living. That's your bathing, your dressing, your food, meal preparation. They do light housekeeping, companionship, non-medical, and that is a private pay unless you already had taken out a long-term care policy. And how many of us have done that? Some people have, and I've helped people get that and get it billed out. But if you have a long-term care policy and VA aid and attendance, that can pay for it. But most of the time, this is an out-of-pocket expense.
Mm-hmm. And if you do have those kind of policies, you want to have somebody help you decipher it so you know for sure if you do have coverage, because that would be glorious, because otherwise it is out of pocket.
Yes.
But it can help you tremendously. So it's called many things. It's called home care, private duty, non-medical, companion care. Those are kind of interchangeable words that says this is help for you where you are with your activities of daily living.
Yeah, and it's wherever you live. So if you live in a private home, if you live in an independent living, sometimes even in an assisted living, they'll need more personal care, so they can bring in an agency or a private caregiver. Insurance companies typically will not pay a private caregiver. They typically want to pay through an agency,
But
a licensed
it
agency.
can help you stay where you want to stay.
Yeah, but
So
from a layman's term, I get confused, so I can't even imagine
Right,
what you
this
guys
is-
get.
that's why we've only talked about one so far.
But
so
we
Right.
always, I think, we tend to mix, I know myself and a lot of people, because we don't know.
Yeah.
We will interchange home care and home health care, thinking they're the same thing.
All the time, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. So home care is the private pay hands-on care.
Yeah.
And then home health is Medicare. Just that's how you should think about it.
Yeah.
For us, where I see confusion is we have assisted living memory care, we have skilled nursing, and somebody say, what's skilled nursing? In the old days, you called it a nursing home or a rehab facility. And those are private pay, or you might be able to get Medicaid or VA to help pay those bills. So I think to categorize housing, most of the time it's private pay, and then you can explore ways to get Medicaid or VA to pay for it.
Okay.
Now I'm going to throw another wrench in this.
Okay, because I've got a miscommunication.
I'm going to throw another wrench in this. So the home health, when medically necessary and doctored order, is covered under Medicare, or if you don't have Medicare, maybe your private insurance if you're younger. The nursing home or skilled care,
I know what you're going to say.
skilled care can be private pay if it's a long-term situation, but if it's medically necessary for an X number of days, it is Medicare or insurance paid
Okay.
Right.
for rehabilitation and getting you back on your feet.
All right.
So
What I want the viewer to know is it's not ongoing every day for the rest of your life when you need the care. Medicare's not going to pay for it.
right, it's X number of days while medically necessary, but there is a component that pays. So I heard you. I so heard you, and I still see the look on your face.
And it's going to be confusing for a while.
Yeah.
If you're
So-
new to this, it's going to take you a while. This is why people are so overwhelmed, because they sit down across from someone who's explaining things and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared for this. I think where people get really confused is confusing where I live with care, because at some point it is not about where you live as much as it is where am I going to have the best care.
So if I had to differentiate, basically what I'm hearing is home care. Do I need home care around my home, or home health? Do I need some kind of health services
Right.
at my
So
home? And
home-
then how do I choose?
Okay,
It's sometimes a mixture.
It's based on need. So let's go with this. If you need home health, if you're needing a nurse to come in for Maybe it's just wound care, but you can handle all your other ADLs, all your other activities of daily living. You can do your dressing, your bathing, your meal prep. Then you don't need home care. But if you've even upped that level into maybe a hospice situation, you're almost always going to need extra support, which will come into that home care. So you have to, it's based on what you need. And then oftentimes it's based on what benefit you have or the amount that you can afford. So if I can't afford home care, but I need home health, by golly, I'm taking what's free. If it's free, it's for me. And so if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to take that, and I'll take that support. But home care is the tough one that everybody thinks is covered, and it's not.